everybody, thanks for stopping by Culinary Undertaking today. Appreciate you coming in and seeing what's going on. And today I'm going to show you how to make a basket out of a watermelon and then fill it with some fruit. So you have a watermelon fruit basket. It sounds harder than it is. It's a little time consuming. If you're not real good with the knife, just take your time, but I'll show you how to do it. It's real simple, and then it'll be a nice little piece whether you're having a cookout or whether you're taking something to someone else's cookout. It's just a neat little something different to do. So come on in and let me show you how to do it. Alright, so here's our watermelon, and today I've just got a small little personal sized watermelon. But this same technique works on any size watermelon, whether you have one of those round seedless ones or one of those big oblong traditional watermelon. I've done this with all of them, so it works no matter what. And the first thing you want to do is find out where the bottom of the watermelon is. So you want to find where it's going to rest nice and stable. Typically it's probably going to be where your little patch is, where it sat on the ground, but not always. So just kind of move it around until it's happy. Mine seems pretty happy right there. Yeah, definitely there is better. All right, now basically what we're gonna do is we want like a handle to come across the top, and then we're gonna cut in front around the sides and then take out these two pieces here. And instead of just straight cutting, I like to do a little zigzag pattern. And what you wanna do is I want my handle at the top of the basket to be about that wide. Now obviously the bigger the watermelon, you can make your handles a little bit bigger, but for this size, I want mine to be about that big. And so what you want to do, we can kind of use this stripe on the watermelon right here, sort of our straight line, because it goes from point to point here. And so if you visualize that as your straight line, you just want to take your knife. I want to be about that wide, so I'm going to come right here. And now from this line, I want to put my knife, I'll aim it towards you there, at about a 45-degree angle from this line right here. So there would be 90, there's 45. Just stick it straight down in, give a little wiggle. Now from here, I'm gonna start at the end of my last cut, and I'm gonna go 90 degrees from the tip of that cut right there. Back in like that. There, so now I've got a little triangle. Now I'm gonna go 90 degrees from the tip of that cut. That's it. We're just gonna keep going. And so now, in a second here, it sort of looks like Charlie Brown's shirt or the back of Homer Simpson's head. So you just want to keep that zigzag pattern up, just keep going 90 degrees. And if you need to stop, just remember, this is the handle that we want to go right across the top. And we want to work our way down to about halfway down the watermelon right there. And then we'll bring our cut, we'll come around this way to this side and back up. And then this whole chunk here will take off. And then we'll just repeat that on that side. So it's super easy, it's not hard. So just take your time. No need to be in a rush. And once you're done with this the first time, so these initial cuts that we're making is basically laying out the pattern that we're going to follow. And then once we're done, most likely, especially on the bigger watermelons, we're going to have to come back through these original cuts and go back and kind of redo them a little bit to make sure that we've cut all the way through and that our piece will come out. So we'll just keep working on here. And if you need to, you could always take, like I'm using this natural line, dark line on the watermelon as my reference to the top of my watermelon. And if I get on about halfway, I'll use this stripe right here. So I'm going to cut down to here. If your watermelon doesn't quite have the stripes, or they don't line up, or you really feel uncomfortable eyeballing a little bit like I'm doing, you could always take like some masking tape and just run some tape across here. And that way that'll give you a little guide to use. You peel it off when you're done, and no one's the wiser. That'll be your little secret. So I want to work my way down to about that line right there. Alright, so here I am down to my line. And now, I'm just going to turn and go this way. Now, if you're using a bigger watermelon instead of one of these little personal sized watermelons, you could use a larger knife. I'm just using a small paring knife here. But if you had a larger watermelon, you don't want this tiny little zigzag on yours. You're going to want a larger pattern to match there. So, you could use, a knife more like that, a little bit bigger one. But whatever you've got, whatever you're comfortable with will work. And I try to make it to where my cuts are just about basically one blade width wide. And if you're not perfect, don't worry about it, because once this sits on the table and it's full of fruit, people are going to be looking at it and you're going to get all kinds of compliments on it. No one's going to be taking a ruler or a level to every one of your cuts and then yelling at you because you had one of your zigzags or one of your angles, like this one wasn't the same as this one. No one's going to notice. So just be careful, watch where your hand is. And it's almost like carving a pumpkin. Now on this side I want to come around to this line right here. So a couple more cuts. And there I am to that line. And then just right along. As you can see, it goes quick even if you're taking your time. Just keep going. And here I'm going to connect to my other starting point right there. So now I've gone all the way around. Now chances are this piece is not going to come off because there's still a lot of watermelon. I didn't go as deep as the blade will go all the way through there. You know, I'm just going, you know, that far in just to make my mark. So there's a lot of watermelon under here that's still connected. So this is the point where you kind of want to go back, maybe put the knife in a little deeper, wiggle it around. Now on bigger watermelon, when I get to this point, you know, my watermelon's that long, so I've got a piece right here that's like this big. Oftentimes I'll make several slices across this way and take this piece out like in 3 sections. It's a lot easier that way if you're working with one of the big ones. But this little one is not necessary. Now, if you feel you have to take a piece out, but you just can't get this for some reason and it's stuck and it's not coming, remember, if you have to sacrifice something, you know, cut this. Don't ruin the part of the watermelon that we're trying to save here. Just keep working this around and get your knife in there as deep as it'll go. Keep tracing the same pattern you've already got. There we go. Now save that. We'll cut the watermelon out of there and use it to put fruit inside the base of the watermelon when we're done. So there's half our watermelon. So now if we do the same thing on this side, you'll see we'll just end up with a nice little zigzagged handle that goes across the top. And then eventually we're going to take all of the watermelon out of the inside. So let me do this side. I don't think you need to sit and watch me do that twice. Ah, that's good. Again, I want to keep it about this wide, so I'll start here. I'll do the same thing to this side, and I'll meet you back and show you how we're going to hollow it out. Okay, so I've got this side done, so now you can see it's starting to shape up like a nice little basket. So now what we need to do is just remove all the fruit from the inside. And you want to leave a little. You don't want to go clear to the green part and have this thing be too flimsy. And again, this is just like taking out the pieces we took out. This isn't difficult. Just take your time, work your way through. I'm going to use a knife to get the part of the watermelon out of the handle there. And obviously you want to save all the pieces you pull out because we'll be using some of them to put back in the watermelon after we're done. So there, we got a little handle coming along. And then for most of the inside, if you want, especially on a bigger watermelon, you could use like a melon baller and take out nice little round pieces of fruit and save it to put back in. But for this one, I'm not going to. And for a lot of the watermelon, just a big heavy duty spoon. On a bigger watermelon, I've used an ice cream scooper before. So just use what you've got and just work your way around there. There's really nothing to it. In fact, it's pretty much just like scooping ice cream. So there you go. So let me finish getting this and I'll bring you right back. All right, so there we go. I've taken all the watermelon out. So you can see now I've just got an empty little basket. Not super decorative. I've been doing this for a long time. I've done this myself. I'm sure if you look online, there's way more talented people that make things a lot fancier than when I did this. But this is something easy that any one of us can do. So there's nothing to it. And now I've got some watermelon that I saved that I scooped out of the inside. And then I just went through the refrigerator and looked to see what I have. I didn't make a special trip to the store. So I've got some pineapple, some blueberries, some strawberries, grapes, and I've got some cherries here. Now, so this is just what I happen to have here. Clearly you can just do like a random fruit salad like this in here and it's gonna be great. If you want, you could theme it. You could make it all melon if you want. You could use watermelon, cantaloupe, and honeydew and fill it in there so it's all melony. If you wanna make it tropical, you could use pineapple. You could then add some kiwi and some mango, maybe some papaya if you have it, and put it in there. That way it's a tropical fruit salad. If it's 4th of July, maybe you want to keep like watermelon and strawberries and blueberries so it's sort of red and blue, a little white right there. But anyway, you can put whatever you want in, whatever works for you. And now it's just a matter of randomly just taking some of our fruit and filling her back up. In whatever order and however you want to fill it, it's gonna work. Nothing to it. And depending on, if you got kids and how old they are, this is a nice little project they could help out with. And if you don't trust them so much with their knife skills, they can definitely help you with this part. Get them in there, and never too young for them to start learning. And since this is grilling season and the summertime and people are having cookouts and get-togethers and everything like that, this is a perfect little summer little dish to take or to put on your table if you're having a party. When people come over and see that, it's fairly impressive for just your regular home cooked person to have something like this sitting out on the table, and everyone's going to ask you about it, and then you can definitely say, hey, I made that myself. And they may or may not believe you, but you'll know you made it yourself. And we'll save a cherry for on the top. So there you go. Well, there's our little watermelon fruit basket. Easy, nothing to it. Give it a try. Perfect summertime treat. So if you make it, let me know. Let me tell me what you put in it. Let me know how you fixed it up. And thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.